Visualize yourself strolling through the opulent corridors of a royal palace, the sounds of laughter and playful cries from over a dozen royal children echoing around you. Now envision experiencing all of this while being pregnant once again. For centuries, queens across the globe held roles that transcended mere titles of rulers or consorts. They were the vital dynastic engines of their empires, expected to produce heirs as if the survival of their realms depended on it, because, quite frankly, it did. Throughout history, the true measure of a queen's worth was often not defined by the laws she enacted or the court she ruled, but rather by the children she bore. Many of these remarkable women endured decades filled with relentless pregnancies, high-stakes childbirths, and profound grief, all in service to the continuity of their crowns. Today, we will explore the extraordinary lives of some of the most prolific royal mothers in recorded history, women whose devotion and sacrifices resulted in the birth of entire armies of princes and princesses. Some gave birth to as few as 14 children, while others brought as many as 23 into the world. Beneath each royal birth lies the story of a woman navigating a life replete with duty, danger, and unwavering devotion. Let us begin with one of the most romanticized figures in Indian history, Mumtaz Mahal. Born in 1593 into a prestigious Persian noble family, she became the cherished wife of Shah Jahan at the tender age of 19, shortly after he ascended as heir to the vast Mughal Empire. Although he had two other wives, Mumtaz was his favorite, his true soulmate. After fulfilling his obligations by fathering children with his other consorts, Shah Jahan devoted his affections solely to Mumtaz. Their bond was exceptional, strong enough that she accompanied him not just in court, but also onto the battlefield. Over their 19-year marriage, Mumtaz gave birth to 14 children, though only 7 survived to adulthood. Among them were influential figures such as Jahanara, Beum, and Aurangzeb, the future emperor. However, the beauty of childbirth belied its dangers. Tragically, during a grueling 30-hour labor with her 14th child, Mumtaz bled to death. While her youngest child, Gohar, pulled through, the emperor was left devastated. In a testament to his profound grief, Shah Jahan commissioned the construction of the Taj Mahal, an architectural masterpiece that stands as a monument to their eternal love. He was ultimately laid to rest beside her 27 years later. Moving ahead to 18th century England, we find Queen Charlotte, the consort of King George III. Born in 1744, this German princess became queen at just 17. The arranged marriage blossomed into a genuine partnership, with both monarchs favoring a quieter existence, shunning the trappings of court life in favor of familial bliss. In a remarkable feat for royal standards, Charlotte bore 15 children over just 2 decades. Her offspring included future kings, George IV and William IV, as well as Prince Edward, the father of Queen Victoria. Yet even amidst her extraordinary achievements, Charlotte was unflinching about the physical toll of endless pregnancies. While expecting her 14th child, she confided, "I don't think a prisoner could wish more ardently for his liberty than I wish to be rid of my burden." Nonetheless, her love for her children was immense, and she outlived many of them, passing away at the age of 74. Her legacy endured not just in her bloodline, but through the way she solidified a royal family that is still revered today. In the heart of the 16th century Habsburg Empire, we encounter Anna of Bohemia and Hungary. What began as a dynastic alliance blossomed into a captivating royal love story. At just 18, she married Ferdinand I, grandson of Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian I. Together, they shaped the future of the Habsburg dynasty, delivering a lineage that would significantly impact Europe. Unlike many of her inbred royal counterparts, Anna's diverse genetic background introduced much-needed vitality into the frail and disease-ridden Habsburg bloodline. Out of her 15 pregnancies, 13 children survived, a remarkable achievement in an era plagued by high child mortality. Among her offspring were future emperors, queens, and influential church leaders strategically situated across Europe. However, such abundant motherhood exacted a heavy toll. During her final labor, Anna succumbed to childbed fever, a common but often deadly postpartum infection, dying just 43 years of age. Her loss was a personal tragedy that echoed in the political realms of her time. Ferdinand, heartbroken by her passing, never remarried and remained devoted to her memory, ultimately ascending as Holy Roman Emperor 9 years later. Transporting ourselves back to the 13th century, we meet Eleanor of Castile, a Spanish princess who married her cousin Edward, later King Edward I of England, at only 13 years old. Their union was far from ceremonial. Eleanor fought alongside him in battles, traversing harsh landscapes during crusades, while giving birth to 16 children. Yet the unforgiving realities of medieval life meant that illness and war loomed large, and Eleanor faced the heartbreak of losing most of her children in infancy or early childhood, with only a handful surviving to adulthood, including the future Edward II. Despite her personal tragedies, Eleanor's unwavering devotion persisted. She followed her husband into wartime camps and foreign lands, often pregnant and sometimes grieving, but always resilient. Tragically, Eleanor's final pregnancy took a toll on her health. While journeying north with Edward in 1290, she succumbed to illness. In his sorrow, King Edward I commissioned 12 ornate stone crosses, one for each stop along her funeral procession from Lincoln to Westminster. These Eleanor crosses still stand today as enduring symbols of royal love and loss. Continuing this legacy of remarkable women, we find Maria Carolina, the daughter of Maria Theresa, who married King Ferdinand IV of Naples and Sicily at the tender age of 15. Although she despised her husband and dreaded the marriage due to the untimely deaths of 3 of her sisters, she emerged as one of the most formidable women in southern Europe. Despite the lack of affection in her union, Maria Carolina fulfilled her royal obligations dutifully. She bore 17 children, though tragically only 7 would survive. Undeterred by personal loss and her unsatisfactory marriage, she seized control of state matters, shaping policies and fortifying royal alliances through her children's marriages. Maria Carolina's reign was not without challenges. The French Revolution claimed the life of her beloved sister, Maria Antoinette, while Napoleon's rise saw her kingdom come under siege. Eventually forced into exile, she died in Austria at 62. Remembered as a queen of iron will and relentless ambition amid political upheaval. Few monarchs confronted grief as acutely as Queen Anne of Great Britain. Over 16 harrowing years, she endured 18 pregnancies, yet not a single child survived into adulthood. The relentless cycle of miscarriages, stillbirths, and infant deaths haunted her every moment. Tragically, her only surviving child, Prince William, Duke of Gloucester, passed away at the tender age of 11. Modern medical experts believe that Anne may have suffered from Hughes syndrome, a blood disorder that led to dangerous clotting, making her pregnancies exceedingly precarious and contributing to health troubles that confined her to a wheelchair in her later years. Despite the unimaginable sorrow she faced, Anne guided Britain through one of its most turbulent periods, becoming the first monarch of the United Kingdom in 1707. When she passed away in 1714 at the age of 49, her bloodline was extinguished, and with it, the Stuart dynasty came to an end. Lastly, we arrive at Queen Darajan of Georgia, also known as Daria, who broke records as the wife of King Heraclius II. Between the ages of 12 and 42, she astonishingly gave birth to an unprecedented 23 children. This staggering figure remains one of the highest confirmed counts for a queen consort in history. However, motherhood in the royal Georgian court was a complex endeavor. Darajan's role extended beyond mere biology. It was steeped in political significance. With her husband having children from a prior marriage, she fought ardently to ensure that her biological sons, not her stepsons, would inherit the throne. When Heraclius died, chaos ensued. The crown passed to her stepson George XII, who disregarded the amended succession laws, igniting a fierce rivalry that escalated into open political warfare. In the backdrop, Russian powers intervened, ultimately seizing Georgia and annexing it into the Russian Empire. Stripped of her status and influence, Darajan was exiled to St. Petersburg, where she lived under close surveillance until her death in 1807. Far from her homeland, a mother of 23, a queen in exile, a woman whose political insights rivaled her maternal legacy. These extraordinary women were more than mere queens. They were the lifeblood of empires, the architects of generations, and often the silent shapers of dynasties. Behind the opulent crowns and gilded thrones stood the immense strength of mothers whose stories, filled with both triumph and sorrow, deserve to be honored and remembered.